So what's going on? How you guys doing out there? How are we doing? Welcome to Monday, yet another Monday. How was the weekend? What'd you guys do? Anything exciting? Yeah, if you look at my Twitch stream, oh wow, Hades truly froze over. I actually played some video games this weekend. Not a lot, just a few hours worth, and it was, it was Uncharted 2. Oh, sorry, the camera's a little funky here. Sorry about that. Let me adjust that. Oh, too much. There we go. Yeah, so I got a few hours in on Uncharted 2, and yeah, I know how far behind I am on everything, but, you know, that's the problem with being addicted to making video games versus playing them. Still love playing them, but, you know, making them is so much fun too. So where are we at? Apple actually approved Volley Village, so it's set up for pre-order, which is awesome. Android, pretty much, that's a no-brainer. You just throw it up and go. So that's all good. So we're set. You know, the big day arrives on the 15th. We're down to 11 days till the game goes live. Pretty excited about it, but also excited to finally be moving on. Which way? That way. There you go. Moving on to the next project. So, still using just placeholder stuff here. And just using, actually just an example scene that was done as part of the Unity tutorial on using tileset stuff, the 2D tileset stuff, and I figured why not, it's a good way to get started, and so it just allows me to jump in, because I have not actually used this stuff yet. I've not used the Unity 2D tile stuff, so it allowed me to, like, educate myself, get up to speed on this, and, you know, just make some tweaks. So I've been playing with it, and I can load up the original version. Yeah. The original version was okay. There was not much. I mean, there's nothing in gameplay, but I mean, some of the controls are a little funky, so I've been tweaking them, starting to do a little revising of it. Not too much work yet, but some of the key factors I got added in is, well, let me turn that off for a second. I forgot I had that. I added this as the ability to get squished, right? But like that. But what I forgot was the fact that it doesn't actually turn to anything else. So it just remains a falling, damaging item. So even if you touch it after it's already landed on the ground, it kills the little character. So it might knock that out temporarily. So the key thing that I noticed from the demo was the jumping was kind of floaty. There was some funky stuff under that. And also there's no double jump, which for me I think is mandatory, especially in a modern day platforming game like that, especially with platforms where you need to be able to jump. So there, I added double jump, but only the double. I got it working where now, let's see, excuse me, I guess it's not, I guess I'm knocked out the debug log there, but it's now detecting what it lands on. So these are set up as different layers. So this is of course the ground layer. And then this, actually, let me change this. I was going to make this red. If I can. Ooh, that's not too good, is it? Alright, well, that's alright. We'll fix that later. But it's just all placeholder. But I was trying to find something that looked more like, okay, there. That's like mysterious slime, goo, whatever. It looks deadly. But you know, that was what I was trying to get at. So, I also got it working with the joystick as well, so I can actually play with the old joystick in a more traditional fashion, so that's cool. Yeah, so just started to get up to speed on all this kind of stuff there. So I can double jump and hit higher levels like that. So what I'm going to start working on now is, now that I got the controls for the character working pretty well, and like I said, this is all placeholder. This is just an example scene I found with just a base tile set. But this allowed me to sort of like prototype and implement some of the other kind of game mechanics that I want to add, right? And then once it starts looking good, then I'll worry about, you know, doing the proper graphics, all that kind of stuff. But just for the time being, this is fantastic just for getting started. So, just put that in my lap here. One of the things I was starting at, you saw that, was the idea of falling items, right? And, oh, wait, I didn't turn him on. There he is. Here he comes. Boom. right. And the nice thing is you can have all these things, like all these tiles are grouped together in one giant cluster. Where's the... Yeah, in chunk mode. So that kind of like reduces draw calls and just combines it into one solid type object, which should help with the colliders. I think that's actually what's doing here. Yeah, it's under static. It's under chunk. Yeah. So I think that's actually set up correctly. Let's see. Well, let's try it this way. Let's look at our stats here. So yeah, we only got four pass calls, which is fantastic to begin with. And I'm guessing it's probably just her, the water. Let's see. So if we just turn her off, her, and we're down to 3. Off the goofy water and falling stuff, and we'll probably just down to the. Oh, actually, we're still at 3. Oh, background. Let's see if that does something for us too. Yep, and we're down to the 1. So that's all compressed down to 1. And you saw the camera jump there. The camera jumped because I was using the example they did, which is kind of a nice feature. So I'm using the Cinemachine to control my camera, which is a nice setup. And what happens with this is the camera will use a bounding box based on the, in this case, it's tied to the background, right? I can make it whatever I want, but right now, just following their example, it's just connecting with the background, and you can see, it's kind of subtle, but so here's the background, right? We got that selected, and you can see the collider box, and the collider box physically controls what the camera can and can't do. Let's see. Excuse me. And actually, the left and right really doesn't matter, because what I ended up doing is, let me come back into my camera here. Yeah, so this is the key thing. So this is the border group that decides how the camera's going to move, right? So let me turn everything back on here. That's good. All right. So using the Cinemachine camera, what happens is once it hits outside the space in here, right? Once it hits the blue, then the camera starts to follow it, right? But if you notice, this is a giant rectangle, and what I did is extended both the sides this way, right? So that way the camera never bothers to move left or right. So I can go from side to side, and you see the camera doesn't do any horizontal sliding, moving whatsoever, right? So the nice thing about that is, because this is, I'm aiming for a mobile, right? At least initially. Ultimately for PC as well, but I just want this to be a fixed vertical gameplay motion, right? So the idea is that you're always trying to progress upward, right? But there's not going to be much in terms of left and right. If there's any like secret chambers, that kind of stuff, that would actually go to a different screen anyways, and I would jump to that. But you can see this is nice. I mean, I had to do nothing. In terms of coding, this is just the Cinemachine tying to the camera and driving its motions, which is pretty slick. Alright, so everything's turned back on. So, I guess the first thing I'll start playing with is the following stuff. So, right now you see there's no script on him whatsoever. There's nothing controlling him, right? But if I just stand here, boom, and take it, I get squished, right? So, now, she does have a script, and just some simple stuff. I mean, a total placeholder kind of concept, but at least gets the ball rolling. If we look at this, where is... Yeah. Oh, I just put it under the player controller. Yeah. So on collision enter, if it's equal to falling stuff, then I just do this little do tween, do scale. It just kind of squishes her down. So I mean, this is just temporary, just to see if the mechanics are working. I'll obviously do something a lot more interesting than that, but at least just to sell the idea of it, that's working nicely. And then, yeah, and I have player status. And then the state is switched to dead, so you can't move around anymore, all that kind of stuff. But I do need to let's create a new script. Yeah, let me start with a new folder. So I'm getting in trouble already because I'm using this example scene, right? And I'm still doing my own stuff kind of mixed with it. So at some point I'm going to have to clean up and consolidate once I get a little further along. But right now I'll just leave everything as is. We have a different file structure. I traditionally have underscores to make all the stuff go to the top, so I can tell what's the demo and what's mine. But I'll need to address that eventually. But for the time being, let's go create script, and we'll call this trap. Call it trap object. Alright, and this will allow us to have the different... Oh, sorry, my nose is itching. I was petting my puppy, and she's starting to shed, so I got an itchy nose today. So we'll take this guy, drag him onto here. There you go. So then we can change his state. Couple ways I can approach it. I can take the following stuff and when it actually stops moving, I can switch it to being just a ground layer. I think I can do that. Let's see. Let's find out. Can we actually dynamically change the tile palette and switch to something else? So what I'll do is each trap, every whatever item, will be a separate layer under the grid system. Should be able to just change the name on it. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna be better about this and call this. You know what? Not falling stuff. I'm gonna be good and call it a trap. Alright. So change that to trap. Okay, good. And then, since I'm working just off of the name, let's see. Oh, but I do need to try and change the layer, because I'm doing a detection on that, and I want to make sure, because let's see. Oh, I did move it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this one. That's where I did it. So now we should see. Oops. Okay, let me turn off the trap here for a second. And no, okay, it's not showing. Let's see. Where did I have that set up? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Where did I have that? I had myself a nice little bug log message that would pop up and show what item she was specifically standing on. No, okay. Guess I did delete it. That sucks. So, that should be... There it goes. Yeah, I don't know why... Maybe I didn't say it? I don't know why I wasn't showing it before. So now what you see here is that when I hit it, it says hit ground, right? And then over here, this is like, hypothetically, just consider that to be poisonous water. Okay, but so I just called it danger layer, right? So that is working exactly right. Alright. So then if it's trap and then collision, I'm just working off the name too. So I can actually just simply, once the trap object strikes the ground, so we'll go, I need to use 2D, don't I? Yeah, on collision, enter 2D. There it goes. Do a case. Oops. Oh, switch. Sorry. Collision. Game object. Name. The reason I'm doing this way instead of the layer, well, actually, no, I might be able to get to the layer because I was trying to do it off of layers up here, but unfortunately, layers let you get the easy access to the number, but not the name, right? And the numbers can get a little more confusing. So that's why I ended up just going collision game object name. I don't think there's any kind of performance hit, and it just makes it nice and cleaner code to read it and see not, you bumped into layer number 8 versus you bumped into a trap and died, right? So now we switch case ground. If it's ground, then we're going to turn ourselves into ground as well. Let's see. Yeah, we'll start with this. What I'm going to do is also move this thing over so I don't keep getting smacked in the head with it unless I want to. How about I just move her over? How about that? Right there. Cool. Alright, so here we're gonna land on this. I don't die anymore, right? So that's exactly as planned. So now you can see that the object has transformed itself and now it's called itself ground, right? Which is, oh, it actually changes, that's interesting. So yeah, so it's not just the sprite, it's actually the entire layer. So that's kind of what I wanted to happen anyway, so it's a good side effect. So, cool. Alright, so if I bring myself back down here, put it like right there. Oops, let me give myself enough time that I can sneak underneath it. Oops, I missed. Alright, try that again. There. So that's exactly what I'm shooting for, right? So it starts off as a trap and then transforms into just a ground object, right? So if it hits me on the way down, it's deadly, right? But once it touches ground, it switches its status from a killing giant rock stone to something I can climb on. So that's perfect. Cool. Alright. So that mechanic's working fine. So next thing to do, I think, is to start play with adding an enemy. And getting that code set up. Let's see. Alright. So my choice is to have waypoints or collisions. Waypoints are nice because I can have specifics on where it should or shouldn't go to. But if it just collides with the edge, and then I could put like an invisible trigger, I guess, on the edge, so that, any patrolling character won't go off the edge. It could hit the trigger and tell it to turn around there. So let me do that. Let me do it that way. Excuse me. So I would need an invisible trigger. Oh. Huh. Okay, I guess I just create a new one. Yeah. call it edge trigger. How about that? Or just edge. How about just edge? So we'll create a new one. Call it edges. There. And then what I could do, let's see, I gotta switch this. On this, I get tripped up on this pretty easily because you select the layer here, right? You think you're working on that layer, but that's not the case. You actually have to switch it down here under active tile map. I've screwed that up a few times, and I'll probably do it again. You watch. Edges. It's just counterintuitive because normally you're used to making your adjustments right here in the hierarchy, right? But no, here you gotta. This has no relevance. It's all about down here. So we got edges selected, and then what I can do is do that, right? And then edges. I know it's visible, but check it out. We could just go like this. We just make it. Okay, now if we make it totally invisible, sometimes when it's like true 0, it negates the collider. I found that. So I'm going to put it just 1, just to make sure that it won't like ignore the collider altogether. Which in theory that's a nice idea, right? To be able to turn something invisible and the collider goes away with it, but sometimes you kind of want it to stay, you know. Well, like for this example. So, you know what, just so I can see it, I'm going to turn it up a little bit just so I can see it there. Alright, and then we need collider. Composite collider? Yeah, we'll do it that way. Alright. It's going to be static, and it should actually be trigger. Yeah, it is trigger. There it goes. So I just want to test this real quick to make sure that it's alive before I start adding a new character with new code, all that kind of stuff. So we'll go trigger, enter 2D, there he goes, good. Borrow this guy. Alright, I'm going to mark him out since I don't need him. Hit trigger. It's still collision. Trigger. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I guess that's correct. All right. So we're starting in the trigger to begin with, so it shouldn't see it in the beginning. Hit the sky gradient. That's interesting. Oh, I guess that is a trigger, isn't it? Okay. But that one is not registering. Interesting. Okay, so static, that's correct, that's correct. Used by vector, no. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So, why does it not see this one? Maybe because we started inside of it? That shouldn't affect it when it goes back through it, but let's try. No. Okay, so then let's try this. I don't really want it to hit that sky gradient. So what we'll do is we'll push him back into the background. How about that? That should be sufficient. Nope, still hitting it. Interesting. Oh, I made the adjustment while I was... Oh, or does it not want to... Interesting, it doesn't want to move. Let's do the background. Let's try that. Alright. There it goes. Interesting, so we're still hitting it. Alright, so I'm still wrapping my head around some of the ins and outs of 2D. I've not done a 2D before, but that's strange. Okay, I guess we can do it this way. We can just say, the trap anymore. I just say background. All right. And we'll do this guy. Switch this and say background. And we'll say yes to all. Okay. And then her, we'll make her player. Oh, she's already player. Good. And then we go into physics. 2D. And then we just knock that out. Right? So let's go background. Where's player? Player. Alright, where do they hit? Player. Background. There it is. There. So now she should no longer have any kind of contact. There it is. Okay, so that's gone. So she's not contacting the background anymore, but she's not contacting this one either. That's peculiar. Okay. Let's figure this out. Tell you what, we'll just, for the fun of it, let's kill this and just do this in a more traditional sense. Let's just start off with polygon collider. Oh, no. It's too much. I want a box collider. 2D. Okay. Here's trigger. There it is. Huh. So that's interesting that it didn't like it when it was a trigger. When it was a, what do I call it? Composite collider. Okay, let's try that again. Let's find out. Remove component. Because all these ground tiles are all composite collider, right? Yeah, and that's working fine. So maybe it's just something I didn't specifically hit. Reset. Let's find out. Yeah, static, simulated. Okay, maybe that was it. Composite, simulated, static. We're all good there. Synchronous. It is trigger. Or maybe it didn't like it because it was its trigger. Let's see if we leave it just as an actual collidable object. Nothing. Look at that. That's freaky. Right, so it's not because it's semi-transparent, right? That can't be the case. Let's try this. No. Okay, so that's not the culprit. So we're going to drop back down to being mostly invisible. Alright. But it is a trigger. And let's see what we're doing differently with the ground here versus edge. Right? Tilemap 2D. Oh, there it is. Tilemap 2D collider. We didn't add that. There it goes. We're missing that element. Right, so we'll say... Or is that, like, redundant? Maybe that's actually not even... Huh. No, okay, so tile map, because it is a tile map, right? Then composite just consolidates if there's a ton of them, right? Which isn't really helpful because these are going to be edges, so there's not going to be, like, edges that are going to be beside each other. So that's actually kind of a waste. Hit, remove. Right? And probably don't need the rigid body either. So I'm going to take him out. Let's see if we can get away with that now. So now we have it set up as this trigger. And there it is. Okay. Good. So it's just me. I was setting the wrong thing. Or not setting it sufficiently. The key thing I needed was the tilemap collider. So the idea was that he would hit that and then turn around. I think I might extend it. Let's see. Can I extend it? Offset. Yeah, I can that way. I guess that's good enough. I just want, so, you know, the enemy, whatever character that's just on patrol, I want it to hit here and then start turning around. Put it like close to the edge so I can hit there. Good. Alright, so now we need an enemy. Since we already have her, the simplest thing is just to make her a good guy and a bad guy. Why not? Enemy. I'll put her up here. Got one. Okay. And to differentiate her, what we'll do is we'll actually make her red. There. Alright. And we'll say add layer. We have an enemy. We do not have enemy yet. So we'll say I'm gonna push this down. Good. Switch her to enemy. Alright. And we're gonna remove the player platform control, of course. Alright. So we'll leave the animator script on there, so she can do her little patrolling back and forth. So if you start right now, she's just gonna stand there, I think, idle. Or she jumps. Interesting. Huh. Oh, because there's no controller for her. Is there? No, there isn't. Okay. Oh, because as soon as she starts moving, though, that I think the way the mech anim is set up for the characters is they're designed that if there's any X motion, then it kicks over to the walk cycle, which honestly I'm not a big fan of that. I don't. Sorry about that. Let me adjust it a bit. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of letting mech anim control the actual animations. And the reason why is just because to me that's sort of taking the control away from you, right? And I much more prefer to sort of like call animation.play or crossfade. But for example, let's see if we go in here to player run, right? Excuse me, let's see if I can find this. Okay, that's, or is it here? To go into it. Yeah. So this is it right here. So the condition is if the velocity is, in essence, if it's greater than 0, right, then it will send it into player run, right? Which is nice, but what happens if she's like being pushed by wind, right? Her velocity is going to be that. So if she's like standing still and getting pushed by wind, and the mech anim senses, oh, she's moving, she's going to start running, you know, which is going to look stupid if she's being pushed by something, you know. So those are the kind of examples I'm talking about where I don't like the way that mech anim drives this stuff. And I'm much more partial to doing this through code. But since I'm just doing some initial prototyping of play mechanics in the beginning, I'm going to let it slide right now. But just know that all this kind of mechanisms here are definitely going to be going away once I start doing it with my own content. But for placeholder, this is fine. So if I hit play, she should drop down to the ground and then have that little floaty pose. Oh, she's not even dropping, is she? Shouldn't she? We have no gravity, maybe. You know what? Tell you what. I'll just do it this way. I say 1, and I'm going to lock her up and down because she's just going to be going back and forth. OP Scripter! Nice to see you keep it going on a new project. Yep. No rest for the weary, right? Yeah. So this is going to be a action platformer, and let's see, why am I not seeing the edge there? Because that's weird. Let me start this up. Huh. Alright, I somehow offset the camera. Didn't mean to do that. Let's see. How did the camera get offset? That's not good. Just the bounty box? I don't think I did. Interesting. Can't control it there. But this guy. Control him? No. So how did he get offset all of a sudden? So it's just starting to mess with the some of the new controls that I'm learning. I'm off to work in 7 hours, so I won't be staying for long. Volley Village is good. I still got the release date set up, so that's gonna buy me some time to start working on getting the word out, doing some advertising and promotion. But it got approved by Apple, yay, over the weekend, and finally did get approved. So if you are an iOS user, you can actually go to the webpage, which, I'm sorry, I should actually update that, because I got the test flight version down below, but let me bring that up real quick. Let's see, copy link address. There you go. So if you hit that bad boy, we now see this, with that wonderful word there, pre-order, sitting right there. So you can actually hit pre-order, right? And you know, so it's just nice for me, just because, you know, it shows some early numbers. You know, I would love for there to be a bunch of people, and it's free. Right? So kind of pre-order is kind of a goofy term for an item that's free, but it is free. But it would be awesome to have this the whole thing, that when it actually hits the streets, expected March 15th. Once it actually does come out, and I thought I had a promo message in there, but yeah, okay. But once it hits the street, you know, to have a bunch of pre-orders, and that means it automatically just gets instant downloads. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So if you are an iPhone user and or iOS, or you know, you have a iOS tablet, iPad tablet, and you're interested in the game, please feel free to go to the old pre-order right there. Click on that, and just once it comes available, you'll have it right as soon as it's possible. I love this. This is so goofy. You can't see the videos on the PC side, right? I have like 3 videos there, but it only works on Mac with Safari. So Mac's being a total snob. They're like, yeah, you don't get to watch the videos, which is kind of funny. But it's nice if you actually if you go on an iPad and you go to this page on an iPad, the videos start auto-playing, which is a nice feature. I do like that. So, yeah, finally. And then, you know, the Android one is already fine. Why they do that, I don't know. I mean, on the surface, it sounds like they're just being jerks and they're trying to deprive PC owners, but there must be more to it, because the same thing is true for uploading, right? If you want to upload a video, you have to literally do it on a Mac computer. So I had to like transfer all my video files over to my NAS drive, over to my Mac Mini, which that alone is a nice long process. And then, you know, let my poor little duo-core Mac Mini that gets outrun by my phone these days, and let the Mac Mini handle the actual upload process, you know. And then you come to find out that they have like, it's not just, okay, and it has to be like H.264 video, right? Well, not just that. It has to be H.264, but it has like this laundry list of specifications of under the H.264 settings, right? And I had literally one setting that was, I don't even remember what the term was, but I had it on 5, and it said you have to keep it under 4, right? And it was rejecting it. It just said, no, try again later. And with no information, right? And I finally went digging, and I said, okay, let me try switch it back to 4. And I uploaded it, and Apple's like, oh yeah, that's good. So it is super picky, but my guess is that there's something that they're trying to avoid. You know, some kind of exploit or some, I don't know what, but it is kind of amusing that you literally cannot upload a video to the App Store through PC, you know, or you can't view it either, which is equally funny, you know. So there's, you know, right here would be these great 3 videos, you know, one that shows just 30 seconds of gameplay, and then 2 that come from the gameplay trailer, right? So they just introduce you to real quick, and they have to be 30 seconds too. That's another rule. They can only be up to 30 seconds in length, right? So I just kind of split it up, and you get 3 total. That's as many as you can upload. So I have one that just demonstrates a quick bit of gameplay. The second one shows you how to control the game, right? With just, you know, the finger, and then it just shows you how the objective is take out the buildings, and you take out the launcher and you win, right? And then the third one is a super quick demonstration of how to manage your villagers and power-ups, right? So I figured that's enough. And then between that and then clicking on these guys, really, I can't even click on these. Oh, Mac is like, no, you're on a PC. I'm not gonna let you click on anything. So you can look at them, but you can't click on them. Thank you, Apple. You know, and then iPad, pretty much the same thing. You know, different aspect ratio. That's kind of annoying. So I had to do. You can see what I did. I did the iPad version originally, and I did a bit of a cheat because I didn't want to go back in and do too much overhauling. So you can see the screens here; they're edge to edge. But if you look at the iPhone, you can actually see I zoomed out a little bit, right? So this is still the iPad screen, just dropped in on the edges here because I had the perfect content. You know, it worked nicely. No, actually, no, I take it back. It might be the other way around. These are all 16:9s, but I wanted this down here. So I guess it's the other way around. I just zoomed in on the iPads. That isn't gonna bother one. No, I don't think it'll bother anyone. I'm amusing myself, I guess. Just the fact they have these wacky rules that it has to be this, you know, this resolution. But then they don't mind if you just zoom out or do all this overlay crap on top of it, which they forbid a couple years ago. The last time I actually uploaded a brand new game, the first go around, I got rejected because they said you have titles on your game screen. It has to be just the pure game screen from your device. You know, pristine, nothing else. But obviously over the last few years they've changed the rules. I guess they had a few mini clip and King people knocking their door and kind of go, we want to put stuff on there. And they said, okay. And now it's this way. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I mean, it's, you know, as we talked about before, this was way too long. You know, my first prototype was literally 3.5 years ago. So happy to have that one almost officially out the door here. And equally excited to move on to the next prototype. So, yeah, so it's going to be, as I was saying, it's going to be like a nice little action, tense kind of action. Just, you know, it's Spelunky kind of, Downwell kind of mixed together, but not quite as frantic as those games. And it's going to be a situation where you're going upward, right? Facing enemies as you go along. Excuse me. And with different kinds of traps and all kinds of fun stuff going at you along the way. So let me figure out what shifted this. Maybe it's because my collider moved it. Let's try this. Let's see if this adjusts it. No, that still doesn't move it over. That's strange. Or maybe it's because of her. Oh, that's it. Because it's that's true. I thought it's centered on her when the game actually started, but I guess it actually does it right from the get-go. So she's 0. Yeah, there we go. So now we got the edges. That's what I was shooting for. There he goes. Yeah. Oh god, that's distracting. You see in the mechanism here, the controller, you can see it switching from its different states. Let me switch back to console. That would drive me nuts real fast. All right. So, but this will be it. Yeah, this will. I'm gonna have these fixed edges on the sides here, you know. So I mean, this is gonna be the full gameplay screen area like this, and then ideally the objective is you're gonna just keep going up and up to try and reach the top to move on to the next section. Excuse me. All right. So I'm going to be kind of sloppy about kind of some of this stuff because I'm still, like I said, I'm in prototype phase. And once I get all the mechanics dialed in that I like, then I'm going to sort of like wipe the slate clean, start fresh, and use everything more properly. But for this, since I'm in a more of an experimental phase, I'm just going to be easier. Is it going to support the same platforms? This game? Absolutely. It's going to start off as iOS and Android, and this one will definitely be coming to Steam as well. I can guarantee you. Because, you know, as I said, this game is going to have a very noteworthy intellectual property to it. So, unlike previous games, this one will be premium. This will be a one-time pay up front for the game, and it's yours for your life, right? So, yeah, as Folly Village, yeah. So, definitely iOS and Android. What I may do is kind of what Nintendo did for Mario, but maybe not as viciously, is kind of like the old shareware, right? The way the original Doom was back in the old PC days, right? Where you download the game for free and you get the beginning starts of the game, right? You know, and there's limited amounts of what you can do in it, right? But then for the amount of, you know, X amount of dollars or whatever the price we set for it, you unlock the full game and then you own it from that point on. You know, it's you know, I because there's an intellectual property tied to it, right? And because there's no kind of other online mechanics, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, making it a premium is a viable thing, which, you know, I keep saying this before, right? The only way I think you can do a premium app is if you have something famous tied to it. In this case, it will. Not yet, you know. This is just a demo scene, but it will. So it's going to be interesting to find out. Demos, nostalgia. Yeah. I mean, because, I mean, Downwell, that guy was brave. Downwell, I think, sells for like $3, I think. Let's check that out real quick. Downwell on Android, he sells for $3, right? And there's no intellectual property here. There's nothing famous about this game, right? But he's succeeded. Let's see what he's down here. Let's see his numbers. Oh, look at that. Over 100,000 installs at $4, $3 a pop, right? And you get 70% of that, so $2.10 times 100, which is not bad. that's quite a bit of cash for him, you know. So I gotta believe that there's still life in the premium world. Volley Village not as much, just because I had to go with the free-to-play because the servers, right? Because I'm going to be, you know, dealing with server costs, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So just having it as a free-to-play with, you know, and because there's also stuff to progress and earn and unlock, right? So, and that's sort of my catch now with Volley Village, is I would love to put Volley Village on Steam, but the complication is, how do I address in-app purchase, right? As far as I can tell, Steamworks doesn't have IAP built in the base. So then I got to start looking at other third-party packages, maybe? You know? I mean, you guys can steer me if I'm off base on this, please. But just doing a cursory look, as far as I can tell, Steamworks does not, at least through the Steamworks.net that works with Unity, it doesn't look like they support IAP, right? You know, I saw a few people asking, and they were saying, yeah, well, look at PlayFab and all these other companies that offer in-app purchase services. So I kind of get the sense that if you're doing IAP on Steam, it is your own, you know, is your own weapon of choice, which to me is a whole scary new proposition too, because then I gotta look at other parties and all that kind of stuff, and it's, you know, for me, simple is better, especially on the coding side. So that being said, Volley Village might be a bigger challenge. I mean, it may be one of those things that I could bite the bullet and just, I was gonna say I could just sell Volley Village as a premium, but then that sort of destroys the incentive for earning coins to buy characters, so that really is a non-starter too. So thinking out loud, that doesn't work. That just means that when the time comes, I'll have to dig deeper into IAP and Steam. But for the time being, no. But this guy will definitely be iOS and Android right from the get-go. Alright, so let's create ourselves a new script, and we'll call this enemy. Alright. And toss it over on her. Hello, maybe. Try that again. Come on. There it goes. Maybe. Did it go on there? No, it didn't. You have this super small finite space where you can actually attach it. There it goes. Alright. So, let's see. We'll do this. We'll say, call it private. Direction equals 1, and then so 1 will be positive, -1 will be to the left, so she'll start walking in the right direction. And we'll just do a fixed update. Alright. Let's see. Transform local position. Is there any 2D stuff in this? Once again, I'm so new to 2D. No, it's just transform. Okay. Local position. I don't see anything special there. Okay, good. So that's just conventional, same approach. Good. All right. So transfer local position. Plus new vector 3. And this is X. So how much would I move her? I'm not even sure. We'll just say 1 times direction, and we'll adjust here accordingly. I presume you know about the game Journey. I know of it. Yeah, it's a beautiful one, right? Where he's just like going over the sand, right, and just doing the exploration. Your girlfriend was hooked. Yeah. Yeah, that might be one of the few games I could get my wife to play. She is, you know, she's the worst game tester for me. Yeah, beautiful game. Yeah, I put all my games in front of her, and you know, you think when I put I grab a tablet and put it in front of her, it's like, would you try this out? You think I just say, hey, do you mind doing like some root canal with no anesthesia? She's like, you know, so yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I remember it. I've not played it. Actually, I don't even think I own it, but I've seen plenty of videos on it. And I mean, yeah, it's beautiful going over the sands. It's a very stylized look. Excuse me. And I know it got raves just for the whole atmosphere, you know, for that one. And that's cool. I mean, to me that's really brave. I mean, I'm much more of the mindset of making video games that are more arcadey, mainly because that's my personal bread and butter. If you look at the games that I play, I mean, over the weekend I was playing, you know, Uncharted 2, right? So, action, right? You know, quick controls, action, that's kind of my thing, right? You know, I mean, Volley Village, you look at that. Volley Village is basically a real-time strategy game, turn-based, you know, tower defense game that I turned into an arcade game, right? So that's me, you know. But, yeah, I've seen tons of the stuff for that one, and Journey looks beautiful. Was there anything else about that one, or is it just the fact that that was one of the few games that you got your girlfriend to actually try out and fall in love with? All right. So we'll just start with that, and that should get her moving until she hits the wall, and then should stop. Whoa! All right. Oh, you know what? Okay. Because I forgot. Each tile is 1, isn't it? So I'm going to start with something very small. I didn't think about that. I'm thinking 3D space, and we're in 2D land now, right? I got to undo all that mindset of 3D. So hopefully she goes a little slower now. Yeah. Boom. Oh, but she doesn't register anything. All right, so let's get a rigid body on her for sure. Oh, she has one. Kinematic. All right. Interesting. Static. And she is set up as enemy. And enemy should register that. Okay. So let's see if we even registered that collision. What do you say? On collision enter 2D. Hit. Like that. Hit. Say collision game object name. Alright. Why are you still upset? There it goes. It was just tardy there for a second. Alright, so excuse me, it's still gonna pass through it, but hopefully we're gonna at least I got maximize on. Jerk. Nope, it didn't register. That's interesting. So capture collider, that's good. It's not a trigger. Okay, so then what are we seeing different between the two here? Alright. So that's the same. Alright, let me just make sure there's nothing in physics. I don't think I have that set up to be non-connected, but let's check that out. Excuse me. Alright. Oops. Okay, yeah, I guess physics here. So, say enemy. Yeah, everything's collected. I don't want enemy. I wanted. Interesting. It's like it moved. Okay. So what did I have before? It was player and background. That's what I had. All right. So that's interesting. So when I moved my layers, right? Excuse me. I renamed the layers and just kind of changed the position. And obviously, this thing is working off of the number, the ID, because you notice that it changed the collision there, right? Because before I had it set to background and player, and when I shift stuff around, you notice that this jumped to player and enemy, right? And it was ignoring collisions on those two, which is kind of funny. And she's still passing right through it. Oh, wait. Sky gradient. So it's still hitting that. Oh, because that changed. There it is. That's what it did it. So let's set that to background. Good to know. Okay. So if you go into layers, I guess I just hadn't messed with it that much. And if you start shifting the order on this, all the stuff you set gets broken, right? You got to go back in and tweak all this stuff because it's obviously connecting to the number versus the actual layer. So good to know, good to remember. Okay, so let's say enemy hit something. All right, so hopefully this time. Oh, because we already hit the ground there too, so it's not going to register that. Which is still peculiar because if I do her, she hits and stops. Like that. If I come over here, she hits and stops. Okay, so is that a side effect of the physics? The physics object? Let's see. Update, fix updates, movement. Yeah, okay, so it's doing checks all over the place, isn't it? Interesting, okay. So once it hits that ground, it considers the ground touched, so it's missing it when it goes out the other side. So, we can cheat it. Hey, ESSU19 did a follow. Thank you, man. Appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. Welcome. Here you go. Let's do a celebration. Let's celebrate with a bombing raid. Here you go. Thanks for the follow. Everyone gets to fly. There you go. Everyone goes airborne. Yeah. Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome. Are you a, is it ISU or is it ESSU? ISU? Are you a fellow developer as well? Or are you just hanging out and checking stuff out? But either way, man, more the merrier. Thanks for coming out. I forgot you could do that. Yeah, I do too. I always forget that until, Blow the Stone always comes by, and he does it. He does that command. Check this out. You can do, I think it's bomb. Boom. Right? Now I'm carrying a bomb. It goes off right about now. There I go. I'm still Morty. Which, oh, by the way, too, if you guys want to change that, avatar. So do exclamation avatar. Boom. And it pops up with all the different things you can choose there. I got the little sprite pack for Rick and Morty. So, if you want to update your character, you can do that there. Alright, so what I could do is I could cheat her. So, she has physics, so she's not going up and down. So if I cheat her just a smidge, if I just go like 0.01. There. Is the command restricted to you? No, it's all you, man. There you go. There, you just answered your own question. Alright, so my hope is by bumping her up just a smidge, she doesn't touch the ground. No? She still hits it. Interesting. Okay, so she must have gravity set up. Continue. Because what happens? Let's just throw her up here. So is she gonna go sideways or is she gonna drop? No. Now she hits it. Okay, good. So it is doing it correctly, but... So how far off the ground do I have to get her before it doesn't register the hit? Let's see, let's go 5. Try that. I could do, oh, you know what, I could do a layer, I could do this, let's see. Could do it that way. Let's try that. So I'm going to just put edges on the other side. So these are going to be invisible edges that only she's going to detect. There you go. That's getting creative. So, and then let me change that offset so it's not over the side here. Did you write that yourself? Is it a plugin for Streamlabs? Oh, no, that's a, what is it called? It's called... Whoa. Whoa! Uh-oh. Boy, I just busted the crap out of that, didn't I? Interesting. Alright, let me switch that back. Hold on for a sec. Wow, I can't even, like, there it goes. So it's 1700 by 660? No. 1700 by... I think it was 768 before. There. Alright, let me drag it back. Streaming avatars. There it is. Now we're back. You'd bomb out to cheer while blowing other viewers up. Yeah. Yeah, streaming avatars. It's so this is just a Steam app. Actually, it's a PC thing that was written in Unity. Someone wrote it, and it sells for 19 bucks on Steam. And it's just a good way for people to kind of like, you know, participate kind of in their own way. There's all kinds, there's tons and tons of customizations. To be honest, I've done very little with it myself, but I mean, there's all kinds of new things you can add to it. But yeah, for 19 bucks, it was a no-brainer. It's just a nice little thing just to show all the people down below. It's kind of a cute touch, I think. All right, so we got her there now. So let me switch off the offset. So when she hits that, she should hit ground. Alright, so let's drop her back down to 1. Put her back where she should be. Alright. Edges. Okay. Thought I had the layer set up, but did I overwrite it? Or just not even add it? I can't remember. Okay, but we have it now. So back to our enemy, and we should see now on this collision, enter. So trigger here 2D. In this case, I'll call it trigger. There. There it goes. And it registered that. Good. So, when she hits that, throw a switch. Collision. It's an edge. Then we just go direction. There's reverse. Oh, come on. Direction. Really? Oh, because I made it private? Or because I did that? Yeah. Alright, now it's happy. Times equals -1. That'll flip it. There. So, that should be enough to make her just ping pong. Or maybe not. Oh, edges. They're plural. Oh man, it's all about the S, right? Look at that. Alright, so now... Okay, good. Okay, and then we can flip her. Let's see. It's sprite render, right? Yep. Should we awake or start? Start. Sprite renderer is equal to get component. Sprite renderer. Done. Then we should be able to flip it. Equals 1, which we always know is going to be the case right now because we have the default set up, but I want to make that more dynamic, so in case she starts by default the left direction, we do a check here at startup to know that she should flip. So that's actually, oh, interesting, that is a choice. Okay, so if it's -1, then we flip her. Alright, let's see if that works. There it is. Easy enough. Look at that. Oh, but it didn't do it the second time. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so is flip X, I thought that was like a function that it would flip it every time, but the flip X determines which initial direction it is. I think that's what's happening here. So do it that way. Or am I doing this backwards? I might be. We'll find out. Alright. Let's see. This might just flip her. She might be walking backwards here. Yep. She's gonna be perpetually backwards. I did do that reversed. Okay. No big deal. So it's -1. It's like that. It's -1. It's like that. And that should fix it. I had a 50-50 shot there, and it was the wrong 50. Boom. There she goes. Good. And then right now, we're just gonna get passed through. Kind of hits her. That's kind of cute. Boom. Alright. Cool. Oops, I just died. Double jump on her. Ah, sucking already. Boom. Land on her. Good. Alright. Then we have to determine death states. And, so I'm not sure how Nintendo did this back in the day. I'm assuming you just, when it strikes the object, you look at your height, right? And do a comparison contrast, right? Or go back to the old classic Joust game. And just like there's a threshold, right? If you're like this point or above, then it's considered a victory. If you're anything lower, then it's just total defeat. That would be my guess. So, let's go. And once again, I'm putting all this under player platformer controller, which I know is bad, but just for the prototyping, I think it's fine. So this is going to be a collision. Alright, so now we're going to do multiple things, so I'm going to switch this from an if-then to a case, a switch, rather. Make this a bit cleaner, and I know that switches run a little bit faster than if-thens.
Just give up.
So, in case we're dealing with a trap,
Come on now.
it's a trap.
I fought demons and dragons and Balrogs, and you're the one killing me.
Like that.
Let's call it a night, Shane.
Break.
I'm serious now. Don't make me...
Throw it up there.
Let
Okay.
me put it to you like this.
Good. All right. So if it's trapped, go that way, and if it is enemy,
You never get far without a life bar. Don't fight them.
break
just
here.
flee.
So then we got to determine height.
Clearly you're sleepy. You could be snoozing
Let's go.
instead of losing. No.
Game object. Transform. Local position.
Please stop trying. You need skill, Shane. And you
Minus
haven't got any. If gaming
the
skills were
enemy.
money, then you wouldn't have a penny. You need
Game
luck,
object.
Shane. But you're flat out of
Transform.
that. Here comes another
position. I don't even know if the
pitfall,
local
and there
position
you
is
go,
necessary.
Sprat. I'm not surprised.
I'm gonna toss it in there.
Excuse
Excuse me. It's probably the smarter move because if I start doing parenting, then I'll want to get the local position eventually anyways. So it's better just to do it now, not have to go back and revise it. If that is greater than 0.5, then the enemy dies.
Ran off a cliff, and your stupid face was priceless. I hope someone makes a gif. Game over, Shane.
All right,
It's game over, Shane. That's right.
just primitive way to do this,
Game
but
over,
just to test
Shane.
if this is
Go to
working.
bed. Game over, Shane. My name is Wally. I'm a wizard, and you know I've been around. So don't be talking shit,
Right.
or I might
So,
have to put you down.
When
I've
we
got a
hit,
magic
one of us is
wand,
going to get turned
and I
off,
rock it
and
like a
depending on the
mason,
height.
then I'll
So
hop
0.5
onto
is
my
just
dragon and we'll torch the
an
whole
arbitrary
place.
thing to start
I'm
with.
An old boss. So they shower me
And
with riches.
we'll see if
I
I have to
got
adjust
magic
that.
in these fingers. Just
That's
ask
strange.
my
Did you
20
notice that? I did a
bitches.
0.5 parenthesis and it didn't
Game
complain
over,
about it.
Shane.
It would have.
It's game over,
But it didn't then.
Shane.
Okay,
Turn the power off.
so go. Huh? It did nothing there. Oh, wait. Because I didn't name. Okay, I gotta rename her enemy. That would help. Yeah. There it is. Boom, she goes away. Alright, so then we'll try that again. Determine if 0.5 is a decent number or not. Yeah. So I was toast there. So this is gonna be a challenge trying to find. Let's see. Too soon. Nope, that was generous, I think. So I might have to raise that number up because 0.5 is like in the middle of it. So I'm actually gonna at least push it to, what do you think, 7? At least 3/4, if not even more, right? Excuse me. I guess it'll depend. Maybe I could look at every character having a certain range that's sufficient, but alright, I'm on the wrong thing. Excuse me. Alright, so enemy, we're gonna say if it has to be at least 3/4 of the way up. Right. If you're hitting around the top 25%, then you're gonna win that one. So, actually, that was, I don't know, what constitutes a hit versus a loss? What do you think? Because I seemed like I was pretty high up there. I mean, it's an interesting question. You know, how far down do you let the player go before it's no longer squishing and it's just a hit and a death? Because that seemed pretty tough just now. Let's see. So if we look at her up close, so there's half. half of that. So I must have been like right on the cusp, because 25% would be about right there and up. Which, to be honest, I think is pretty generous, because that's like the top of the head, the curve, right? Unless it's the whole tile. If it's the whole tile, then it's actually going to be further up. So there's the middle, things like that. No, it's still about the same. You know, I think I'm good with that. I think 25 is going to be our magic number. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, it's not going to be a factor of mine as much, but an interesting thing about this, too, is when she jumps, she goes way up there, and let's see. I guess the collider follows with her? Let's find out here. Yeah. No, okay, that's pretty close. Yep, okay, good. We got double jump. Yep. Alright, so here's another question. Let's see, edges. I was talking about before, remember I was saying that if you drop alpha all the way to 0, that colliders no longer work. Let's see if that's true in the world of 2D. Let's see. No. Perfect. That's awesome. So now they're just invisible triggers. Awesome. Alright, so that's another mechanic that's down. Let's see. So, what happens right now if I'm trying to jump off of her? Ooh! Wow, that seemed unfair. Alright. What I need to do is just be able to add enemies on the fly. Leave her off. Alright. Oh, just turn it back on. I can. I might want to get out of the way before I do that, but I guess I could just flip her back on. Alright, that was good. Flip it back on. Activate this. Alright, so what I want to test is, right now, the only way you can jump, oh crap, is when you're grounded, right? Or if you're in one jump, then you can do a double jump. But I was thinking about what happens if I want to, like, kind of do that, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a springboard kind of thing, using a character to jump off of. I'm not sure if I want to get that complicated though, because I like the idea that you're crushing them. And I don't know, that seems a lot to kind of hope for that. Okay, so it's going to have two different kind of enemies. Enemies that are squishable, right? The lower enemies. And higher enemies that just get stunned, right? So those, that might be a situation that you could get grounded off of that. Let's see. So what I need to do, I think, is dig around in the code and figure out, because right now it's the physics script are handling what constitutes grounded. Alright. So, minimum ground, normal Y. Okay, so, let's try this. If she gets hit, I'm going to just turn off. Let's try this in experiment. Equals true. And then when she gets hit, I could do it this way. Let's go. stunned. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Equals false. Public void. I don't need public for this. Just go void. Stunned. End. Try it that way. Alright. And let's just say running equals true. Alright. So when she gets hit, she gets stunned. And then we'll say invoke. Stunned. End. Let's go. Stun time, we'll just say 2 seconds. 1,200. Make it 3 seconds to start with. That's correct. Yeah. So running equals true again. Alright. So let's come back to this one. Turn it off for the time being. That should do it. Let's check it out. So hit her. It did nothing. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so let's move this over and get rid of some of these other ones we don't need for the moment. Oops. So we just need enemy. Clear drawer. Stun. Okay, that's correct. Time to sleep. Take care and have fun. Thanks for coming by, man. OP Scripter, good to see you again. Alright, man. There you go. One final. Yeah, here you go. I'll do Woman Glorious. Bombing raid. All the way over and all the way back. There you go. Everyone flies. Alright, buddy. Thanks for coming by, man. Good to see you again. Alright, so they're stunned. Oh. It helps if I actually do it in here, doesn't it? Fixed update. Let me put this underneath the fixed update stuff. Just to make it more conventional. Below. There. So now we go. If running. And do that. That should do it. There she goes. Oh, I'm still getting hit. Guess I could switch her different. I might have to change her status there for a moment while she's stunned. Ow, crap. There it goes. That's what I was hoping for. So use that as a way to get to higher levels. So there'll be characters that you can only knock out. And use that as a tool to get up to higher spaces. Oh! Alright, I think I will lower that. That does seem a little overly challenging. Alright, let's drop it to 6. That sounds pretty good. Okay. Yeah. So what happens? Oh, it just slides right off. That's kind of cool. Ooh. Interesting. So it does it right the first time, but the next time I hit her, it doesn't actually do the delay. Huh. Invoke it for 3 seconds. That's peculiar. Okay, that's 3 seconds, right? Oh wait, it's doing it now. Okay. That's weird. It seemed like before it wasn't pausing for 3 seconds. I like this mechanic. Using them as a tool to get up to other places that you can't reach normally. But you gotta be careful because you can get taken out still. Nice. Alright. Give me a sec, I need to turn my ceiling fan. It's getting a little close to me here. Also, fire up some liquid refreshments. Okay. So, what we could also do is change her status. I think that might be a good move. So, when she gets stunned, I change her name briefly. So, let's see. Here. Enemy. Stunned. And we'll say... Oh, we can actually do it under this, can't we? Stunned. Change your name to... like so. And then switch it back to just my normal enemy. So that way she's not going to take damage while she's in a stunned state. So the player can mess with her, with the enemies, without fear of getting taken out. So, yeah. So there, I can just like slam into her all I want to. Like that. Yep. Looks good. Just slide off the back. Cool. Just like that. Cool. Alright. That's working. And then, of course, you can die. Okay. So, we're in good shape there. So, let me look at my list here. I guess next thing would be like, let's see, next. Alright, did stunned. Take care of that. Breakable bricks, we could do that. So, let's just do a new one, and we'll call it, 2D object tile map. Excuse me. Breakable. Yeah. Let's see what should be good candidates here. Yeah, I just use the some of these guys. Yeah. So that'd be a good example of one where you can't normally reach it, right, to destroy it, unless she's like right underneath. So that's kind of a cool play mechanics. Let's see if I can make that happen. Let me knock out a constant line here. So we know this is working, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have to move that up more. Think of it. That's kind of too low. Lighter. One sec. Okay. And let's see, that should be sufficient. Let's see if I get it to say breakable. Nope. Oh, no, actually it should default still should have shown something, so that's not correct. Right, instead of worrying about the enemy, let me just move that piece over. Walking talking! When did you go live? Oh, you're right. Crap. I keep forgetting to do that, don't I? Oh man, I keep forgetting to broadcast. Let me throw it over there. Broadcasting now. Sorry for getting the reminder. Alright, let me just toss that up there. Sorry, man, I'm tossing on Discord right now. I'm so bad about that, man. I'm terrible about that. Posting your Discord. I know, I'm sorry, man. I just, I get like bogged down in trying to get everything set up, right, and getting everything in place. I always forget something, and it usually is the Discord posting. Sorry about that. Yeah, I started my usual 1 o'clock time, so sorry, man. But, oops. Walking talking, how you doing, man? How's life in your side of the world? It is the #1 bot for Discord. Okay, I will set the bot up so it can do that for me. But yeah, oops. Yeah, I forgot. So, as you can see, I started working on the next one. What I'm doing right now is just doing prototype stuff, so I'm using some pre-existing tile set stuff that came from a demo. So I'm just using that because the art is okay. It's good enough for what I'm doing because I just want to test out and develop play mechanics. So there's no reason to spend any time creating art that I have to worry about now when I could just use this stuff, and it's all Unity's 2D tile stuff. So I know this stuff will actually just swap out perfectly anyways. So, let's see, I'm unbreakable, yes? And that is unbreakable. Yes, it is. Okay. So if I select him and then hit move, then I can drag him. No, I can't. Why can't I drag him? Alright, fine, I'll just delete him. And I can't delete him. Breakable. Delete. Weird. Alright. It finally did work. So I'll put like right. Paint. There. Huh. So it is hitting it, but it's just not registering it, which is peculiar. Collision enter. Oh, because I'm not showing it. That's why I marked that debug line out. My fault. But yeah, I was just checking in so I could see your progress and see how you were. It is already pretty late here, so I have to leave again. No worries. I will see you next stream. Hopefully, have a good one. You as well, man. Valley Village is in fine shape. Yeah, I'm still on schedule for the March 15th release and just starting to develop this stuff. But yeah, man, thanks for coming in, and I apologize. That's completely my fault, man. I will be better, and yeah, I'll set a bot up so I can let you know when the Twitch stream is kicked off. Sorry, man. Didn't miss too much. It's just basically what you see here. You know, this is all the beginning phase, so there's nothing too exciting at this point. But either way, man, thanks for coming in. Go get yourself some sleep. Breakable. Good. There it is. That's what I wanted. Enter. Alright, and I'll need to add a script to it eventually, but just for the time being, I'll just do it on this side. So we'll say collision object set active to false. Done. So now when I hit the breakable brick, there it goes. Wow, even the one jump really clears that though. Crap, I may have to tweak that because I don't want that to happen. Yeah. Alright, I have to play with her jump abilities there. So that's a little high. Let's try 8. Ooh. Alright, that's too much the other direction. So we'll try 8.5. Can I use floats for this? I can. Alright. There it goes. Yeah, so it's like right there, but not quite reaching it. So I can see if I can push that a little bit further. Ah, there it is. Nice. And I can still clear these levels with no problem. Good. Yep, I can still make that double jump up there. So even the tough ones are makeable. Not easy, but that's stuff I can add on the higher levels, I think, the more challenging levels. Yeah. There it goes. And that breaks that one. Alright. So what I'm thinking... No, I can still reach it. I need to be higher. Like that. Okay. Yeah, now I can't quite reach it. It's like almost there, but not quite. So we go. Oh! Bad jump on my part. Maybe I should lower it. That still seemed like a good hit. Okay. Switch back to ground. Oops. Custom? Yeah. Just do those guys. Alright. Interesting. What was that? Huh. Alright, so that doesn't enable me to actually get up there, but... Huh. Okay. Let's see, so... Take these guys. Moving down one. Same for him. Alright. So I can clear that one. And use her to get up. Nice. Okay. I like that play mechanic. That's pretty good. Oof. Can't do that. Can't clear that one. It's gotta be like right underneath like that. Oh, I can. If she's right on the edge, if she's not too far away, then I can even do it from the side. That's cool. Crap. That's good. It's challenging. Not impossible. But not a cakewalk. I can even do it there. A tight space. Like that. So I'm not bouncing off I'm not bouncing my head off there on a single jump. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Okay. So we got breakable bricks. We're good on that. Wow, this stuff's coming together a lot faster than I anticipated. So, I guess I could create triggers that drop stuff. That's kind of cool. So we'll take the enemy, hide her for a bit. Let's see. I think what I'd do is like have something that's triggered that's going to drop down on you. I would have it like vibrating or something like that, just to signify the fact that that's ready to go. And once you hit the right trigger, it's going to fall. Let's go back to the ground. Drop some of these. That's good. Just turn off breakable for the time being. Excuse me. Where'd truck go? Oh, he's way up there. Excuse me. Alright, sometimes it lets you select it and move it. Oh, because I'm in the wrong layer down here. No, I'm still not. I have him. Trap is selected. Right. It's... I don't think this is totally cooked. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're able to just use the arrows, the cardinal direction arrows, click it and move, and sometimes no. Alright. So for example, I could have like the danger stuff here. Okay. Here. Alright. Danger selected. There it goes. it's like it wouldn't change correctly. Quirky. Alright, so then like this one, there's no way to get above that, right, without hitting those guys for sure. So trap. Let's see. Where's I think there's a place in here where I can say it's used at start. Or maybe not. Plastic ladder? Nope, I didn't get it. Dynamic? No. Dynamic. Sleeping mode. There it is. Start to sleep. Okay. And then we can create an invisible trigger. Let's see, let's call that. So, let me think about that. Guess I could do a name search when it gets hit. I could just truncate it, so I can have like trap 0 0 and then infinite. Create one called trigger. Let's see, do I do it? Just want to. I think what I do is have a prefab where they're both connected from the get-go. I won't worry about that now since I'm just in the prefab phase. Call it trap trigger. Alright. And same thing. I'm just going to use something, but it's going to be turn invisible. That's good. Semi-transparent, just so I know it's there, but I'll come back and fix that later. Here's trigger. Yep. Alright. So what I'm going to do is switch this to substring. Make it 4 characters. Good. So that way I can have multiple iterations of them and not have to worry about, you know, not being able to find the right one. If I just truncate to that, and then, yeah, I think that'd be good. Trigger. Activate trigger. Just like that. that. Yeah, good. Okay. These guys. Right. Two things I want to do here is mic collider. So let's say. So I can disable it once it's actually been hit, because it's a one-time only thing. And we're gonna do the public void. And what did I say it was? Activate trigger. Duh. Just like that. Right? And then... Right. So I'm going to bank on, in the future, as I was talking about before, the prefab will allow it to already have the connection. So I'm just going to do a drag and drop and know that all prefabs in the future will be set up like this. So... say... Oh, make it public, so I can just... object. My trigger. My trigger object. You know what? I guess actually I want the component on him. I don't really care about the object. I care about his trigger state, don't I? Sleeping mode. So I want the rigid body on him, actually. Do it this way. My trap RB for rigid body. And it's not a game object. That's going to be a rigid body. Rigid body 2D. Let's see, sleep mode equals can I just do it that way? Set awake? Is he gonna be happy about that? Maybe. Okay, let's find out. Do it that way, or is there some other way I can have to wake it up? I mean, I could switch its body type from static to dynamic, but I prefer just to have to turn it on like a light switch with the sleep mode. So let's try it that way to begin with. All right, trigger. Oh, I haven't put script on them yet, have I? As I said, I'm just assuming in the future when I set up the rigid body for this, the prefab for this, this will always be automatically associated from the get-go. So that will make that faster and simpler. Alright. That might be all I need. Let's find out. Hit. Trigger a 1, so I hit it. So it didn't go, so why did we not go? Did it not get the call? Or the association, or the sleep mode switch not doing it? Nope, it didn't get the call. Did I do this wrong? Let's see. Don't need enemy, I'm gonna close him. Activate trigger. Public void, that's all good. Yeah? Oh, but it's not a collision. It's a trigger, isn't it? Helps when you put it in the right place, doesn't it? Like so. Alright, why is it not my collision all of a sudden? Oh, that's one. That should do it. So yeah, I was put the trigger collision actually in the collision instead of trigger. Activate trap. Okay, so that worked. And let's see if this switched over. Start awake. Okay, so that doesn't do crap, unfortunately. Never sleep. Okay, we need to just switch it to never sleep, and then we're good. There it goes. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, I'm like the first level I'm thinking it's gonna be like you're in these deep caves and it's like a lava planet. So there's gonna be lava flowing out of all these things. So right now it's water, but it'd be like big old nasty lava. Oof, I just died. It's not going to be one hit, one death. I think I'm going to kind of follow Spelunky's methodology, where you sort of like get 4 hits before it's truly game over. I like that mindset. I think Downwell has that as well, right? And you'll be able to unlock new health along the way to help you get a little further. But yeah, that's good. So the trigger is there, which I can go ahead and drop him down. So obviously I'd want to have some kind of visual indicator to let you know that there is a trigger right there that's going to trip it off. Like so. Nice. Alright, this stuff is coming together way faster than I thought it could. Right. Platforms. Alright, let's try platforms next. Whoa, nope. Oh, crap. That was not what I wanted. I just totally broke it. Oh, man. I hit the wrong thing and it just totally broke it. Isometric time. I didn't know. I want just combat. Weird. So it just like broke all my crap. So ground is now all isometric. How do I undo that? Oh, there it is. Rectangle. It still butchered it. Look at that. What the heck, guys? Oh, there it is. Oh, interesting. So isometric, all it's doing is like a cheat, right? We're just taking the scale and kind of cheating it down to the 0.5 to try and sell it. But wow, that scared me for a second. I thought I totally broke it. Okay. So new platform layer. And for the sake of simplicity, we'll just take these guys. And oh, it's only 2. Yeah, that's good enough. So interesting. If I make it so they can't go any lower. Try this. Right. Select both of them. And now move them up one. There. Nah, I'll leave it down for right now. And then here. Blue screen! The music app going is pretty loud. Oh, it is? Oh, crap. Thank you. Sorry, man. I was doing some, I was streaming some game stuff over the weekend. And I dialed that up so people could hear the audio of the game much more than me. And I forgot to dial it back down. Thanks, man. Ah. How's life there in La La Land, man? How you doing on the left coast? Thanks. No wonder people keep coming and disappearing. They're like, oh, man. Doesn't even know how to do his audio mix. I'm out. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, but I did. I played like 2 hours on Friday night and like another almost 2 hours on Saturday, which is pretty much my fill of gaming for a while, probably. You're existing? Working on getting where I need to. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you still, you know, last time we were talking to me, you were saying that you were actually doing some work for some guys. I don't know if that was like a short-term contract or is that still ongoing or what you got going on? You don't game much, huh? No, I'm just, you know, I mean, well, put it this way. I was in a gaming cafe, right? How many hours did I spend in there? I mean, you know, for the month I was there, you know, what? I was doing 3 hours, 3 nights a week. So like 9, 18, 30. So what? 40 hours worth of time in a gaming cafe, and I played 0 hours of actual gaming. It was short term, though I do take extra work like that when I can. Oh, that's cool. I mean, well, no. I mean, it's cool that you able to take jobs like that, but bummer that that it wrapped up for you. You were busy though. I was doing this, more of the streaming stuff, trying to push through Volley Village, which has been pushed out the door. Well, it will be on the 15th. It's pretty much wrapped up and just waiting for getting some, just a little bit of publicity, get a little more exposure for it out the door. But yeah, so working on the next prototype. Thanks, man. Thanks. Long time coming. Yeah, when I looked at the earlier prototype, I was showing it a couple days ago. I guess it was on Friday. I was loaded up one of the ancient old prototypes, and I didn't realize it was actually the middle of what was that? 17 or was it 16? Was it 2016? Oh man, so it was like 3.5 years ago. Yeah, crazy. Anyways. Finally, long story short, it's finally out the door. So, starting to work on the prototype elements, just gameplay elements for the next game. I'm using someone else's existing tile set right now. It was actually a 2D demo that I watched, and it's like, oh, well, hey, the components are good enough. So, I just started using this. Let's see, so let me go. So, just getting started with all this kind of fun stuff. Tile map. Let's see. Collider, composite collider. It's dynamic. Polygons, and where's allows me to switch. Crap. Which one is it? Wait, there's ground. Static. Synchronous. Is it? Okay, oh, I guess it's outlines. I guess that's what I wanted. Outline synchronous. Yeah, so that should turn into just one collider box. So, let's see. Hits the platform. Good. Alright. Platform. So it's kind of a strange thing to wrap your head around, is the fact that you have all these layers of the grid, right? But when you start dropping in individual like tiles, right? So if I had, like, this is a trigger trap right here, like the rock comes dropping down on your head, right? So if you set up 5 of those, they all go at the same time, right? So you have to set up like layers for each individual item, which seems counterintuitive. You'd think you'd have a layer of traps that have independent traps, but it kind of doesn't really work that way. So having to wrap my head around the way the Unity guys decided to do the 2D setup, but for the most part, most of it makes sense. All right, so platform, we'll throw the old script on here, like so. Come on. Oh. There it goes. Okay. So let's see. Just do as a... If I do as a 2D vector, I think that's going to be the simplest way. So make it a public for right now. So I can start messing with the values. Platform range. Don't need this to be public. I need int. Direction equals 1, so it starts by going up. Let's see. Fix update. Alright. Let me look at my enemy script. Because once again, I'm more used to 3D than 2D so far. So the motions I do on a fixed update are kind of nutty compared to. So it's 0.05 was sufficient for that one. Alright. Actually, let me just borrow that whole line. Acquisition equals, in this case, we want to go up and down, so we put on the Y instead of the X, like so. Okay, and then we say if how are we gonna do this? Position Y is greater than yeah, Y. So the second value would be like the high, and the first one would be the low. If it's greater than or equal to, then direction is equal to -1. We'll flip that. Actually, I can do it in the same one, can I? Or Y is less than or equal to X, then flip. Good. Alright, now we just have to set that range. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just make it 0 and 4. That should be all I need. Let's see if that works. No? Alright. Oh, the rigid body's dragging it back down, isn't it? Alright. So let's remove that. Composite. Okay, so that doesn't work. We'll just do it that way. See if it's happy now. Yeah. Ooh. Huh. Okay, so it doesn't like that. So let's put the rigid body back on there and see if we can get it to behave. Let's see. Make it even discrete. Kinematic. That's what we screwed up on. Freeze rotation, absolutely. Freeze X, and then just let it go on Y. That should be enough. Nope. Still doesn't do it. Alright. So it hits it, but then, Alright, so now I'm getting into the issue that other people deal with, right? Is the whole locking on a platform and not falling through it. Yeah. So what if rigid body freeze info? Excuse me. Okay. So how do you get that to affect this guy? Full kinematic contacts. Be allowed, yeah. So interpolate. Interpolate. Nope. I guess because I'm using the transform versus force. So, just out of curiosity, let's try it this way. Let's put her on top. She's gonna slide through it, I know, but yeah. Okay. So let's take our platform. Disable the script. Now she shouldn't fall through it. She just land on it and stays. Alright, so then if we don't... Let's see, if we don't do it that way, if we just do it as a... Just do it as a force? Like a one-time big boost force, maybe? Yeah, as you can tell, I have not dealt with rigid bodies landing on platforms and becoming one with them. I mean, you could do a hack trick where you do it as a parent constraint, I guess. I don't know if that's how some people deal with it. Or if they try and do it through just a dynamic force. So, can I do a force where there's no fall off, so it just perpetually goes in that direction like there's no gravity? Let me try that. Let's see. Yeah, everything I've done has been transform. For all these years, I've always used just transforms. And I've never had to actually deal with it this way. So... what is it? Add force? Nope. Alright. I literally haven't done that before, so... let's see. One sec. Alright. Oh, that's rigid body. Okay. So I can't get to it that way? Yeah, I guess I gotta do it that way. Okay. There you go, like so. Vector 2 force. So it's 0, 1. Doesn't like either. Oh. No, I should be happy. Yep, we're good. Alright. Probably just like instantly blast away, right? Or not. Interesting. Huh. Okay, let's just go extreme. Oh, I disabled the script, didn't I? I think that's probably what's going on here. It is. Yep. Yep, that would do it. No. Okay. So we're dealing with a couple factors here. I'm sure the mass of the object, and probably still gravity and all that kind of stuff, which I don't want gravity to have an effect on this. But here, we'll just go nuts. Choke on 1,000. Still nothing. Alright, that's bizarre. Kinematics, dynamic. Gravity scale of 0. How about that? Hey! And we have liftoff. Alright. Yeah, dynamic allows the forces to control it. Kinematic, of course, allows you to move it around like I was doing before. Oh, there. That's nice and slow. But it's still going. That's nice. But since I'm dealing with this character, I'm going to need it to be dynamic. So hopefully she can land on here and stay. Oh, crap. Okay. But then that has that effect. So if I go mass, if I just crank the mass up to extreme, 0 angular velocity, discrete, start awake. Alright, so now that the mass is bigger, is that going to make it shoot up? Or is that... no. So I got to find a good balance here. So I'm just throwing the mass up extreme, so she will have no effect on it. And she still does. What is up with that? I mean, her mass has to be like nothing. So what, kinematic totally knocks that out? Is that what I'm seeing? Alright. Time for a quick study here. What's the usual solution? Transforms. Is kinematic. Will not be driven by physics engine, by its transform. Okay, so that's what I was doing, but it still didn't keep it from falling right through, did it? So let's go back. Kinematic. Simulated says what? It is effectively hidden from the simulation. Okay. Use full kinematic contacts. Say yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's go back to doing it old school way. And still sliding through it. Right, an attached effector or not? No. Okay. So that's still not doing much for us. Rigid body platform, and this dates back to 2011. Crap. Add you as a child. Oh, okay. So that's, you gotta do it on collision. Alright. Interesting. All right. So enter and then exit, so that would, okay, so game object transform parent equals collision, but it's only with that grounded, right? If it's on the sides, just slide off, but will it? I guess I have to determine where the hit is and if it's going to connect it or not. Okay. Let's just get it to move with it first, and then I'll worry about hitting the sides second. So, game object transform. That should cover that, and then nope. Stop hitting spacebar. 3 times in a row. Okay. Void on. Thank you. Collision exit 2D. Oops. Game object name. Oh, I went substring, don't I? Yeah, I don't know why I did parentheses up there. It was overkill. Nah. I'll leave it. Okay. Alright. So, in theory, that's all I need. Let's get her back on the ground. And it's still just sliding right through. Alright. So that doesn't do crap for us. Maybe it's the player controller that's forcing that. Alright, just out of curiosity, let's just see if that's the culprit here. Nope. Alright. So that's frustrating. I'm doing what it says, and I'm getting not the results I want. Separate you from the platform, you're no longer on it. Rigid body and fixed update fixes the slipping and gives a very smooth and accurate simulation. Rigid body. Platforms, right, is kinematic is true on the platforms. So, yeah, so it's set that it is kinematic. Ah. Alright, I can see she's like popping on and off too, so this concept isn't doing crap. So, whoever wrote that, maybe that worked years ago, but it doesn't work now. Right, object. I'll search for last year through moving platform. $2010, useless. Anytime, past year. Character controller. Alright, so there's a plugin. Yeah. And abandoned. Yep. So how long ago was this? No? 2017? Huh. Kinematic 2D. Oh, so there it is. Okay. Yeah. Kinematic character controller. Whoa, $60? Seriously? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, worst case, I can go back to the other controller that I have, but I kind of wanted to like not deal with that one. Stop sliding, falling off moving platforms. Okay, good. Alright, so just do the parent constraint, which I tried that, and it didn't do, that was nice, but it didn't help. Let's see. So that's what I did, but my guess is it's the stupid controller that I'm using. The player platform controller, I guess, is just sort of like wreaking havoc on it. So if I put her up here, turn off the player platform controller. I got nothing. Alright. Trigger is used by vector offset. That's peculiar and frustrating at the same time. For something this basic and the new 2D tile set, you shouldn't have to rely on a $60 plugin just to make it land on the platform and stick. Hit platform. Alright, so let's just do a test. Try it this way. Player test, drop this down here somewhere. Alright. Like so. Get rid of all this other crap. We're just going to test platform and platform. Alright. So this should actually make her snap to it. It doesn't do crap. Nope. Okay, so it's... Oh, because I got an upper or lowercase kind of situation going on. Oh, did I mess that up? Let's see. Oh, don't tell me that's the whole thing right there. It's just because it was searching for the wrong thing. Oh, that's embarrassing. If that's the case, that's totally embarrassing. Oh, crap. Okay, that sucks. So, since I just renamed the platform correctly... Oh, man. Wrong thing. Select her again. Turn on the player platform controller again. Turn off the test script. I can't turn it off? Okay. Remove. And let's see what this happens. Let's see what it does. Nope, still slides through it. Yep. Alright. So, it is a combination of it being a jerk. So the that stupid player platformer controller likes to just push it through stuff like that. That's annoying. So I guess what I need to do is figure out specifically how to deal with, I don't know, have to roll my own, I guess? Not happy. Let me think. Alright, how much do I lose if I dump that and roll my own? Let's see, glitch textures continuous. Kinematic, yeah. So I was right. It was combination, right? It was the fact that I had platform as a lowercase p instead of uppercase p, but it's also this super tricked out script, the player platform controller script, which is inheriting from the physics, which is kind of screwing with it. So, alright, let me take one more stab at this. Alright. Let me look at that script and see if there's anything I can tweak on my end. So wake, compute velocity. Let's see. Okay, maybe it's the grounded status. Let me check that. Did I get rid of the is grounded? Okay, I had a bool in here before. You know, I guess I can just look at that. I added that. I'll just check that state out. Let's see what it does. Alright, so I'm going to look at this right here and see what that grounded status does. And it may be changing grounded because it's moving. No? Yeah, so it thinks it's grounded. Alright. So I should see that pop up right here. Is grounded. Okay. So let's see if that gives us any information that's different. Alright, so yeah, when I'm hitting the platform, yeah, it's still not showing it as, it doesn't think it's grounded. So the way it's producing grounded is different. I guess it has to be totally stationary for it to constitute in its head what the idea of grounded is. Minimum ground normal Y. Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's nice code, but it's kind of useless on platforms, right? How else can I come at this? I mean, I like their code. I like the way it calculates if it's grounded or not, but it's useless in this platform situation. Okay. Original max speed. Okay. Guess I could do a little hack here. Let me try it this way. How about this? I don't need it public anymore. Introduce an offset to it. Maybe that might be the way to go, or maybe that's going to just piss off the physics formula even more. I don't know. All right. Platform. Equals true. Platform position equals collision game object transform. Okay. And then let's exit. Oops. Nice, but wrong place. That's false. Okay. So that gets that, and then let's just introduce target velocity. I guess before I do it here, I could. So where's it actually moving? I guess that's what I need to find. Computing velocity. But where does it physically move it? Alright, so we have target velocity. And that's the only place that appears. Nice! Oh no! Selechi! Hey, hey! Thank you so much for the raid. Look at this. Wow. How's it going? Wow, big time raid. Look at this. 29. Boy, you're just racking them in these days, aren't you? Good to see you. Look at that. So yeah, I'm just starting to work on the new prototype. My last game, Valley Village, is pretty much out the door. I got the, there you go. Up there you can see the release date. I have that set up. So, hey, good to see you again. Thanks for coming by, and thanks for bringing everyone. So I'm just starting to work on the next one. Just doing some platform. Thank you so much. So yeah, just starting to do some platform stuff. Just starting to tweak with this, trying to wrap my head around all the 2D stuff. Using a pre-existing tile set. Of course, this is not my original stuff. I'm just trying to work out play game mechanics, and I was doing great up until I got to the point where trying to ride. Yeah, I know. Yeah, not stepping on your toes, I promise. This is gonna be much more of a vertical climb type game, right? So it's going to be much more frantic in terms of just jumping over creatures and just climbing upward, constant kind of thing. But, so, I mean, you can see I actually got the walls set up here on the side, right? So, I mean, it's going to be a constant, like, this is the entire screen, right? And you're just working your way all the way up. That's the game plan. And things have been going nice for me, except for when I added a bunch of features, and it's all going pretty well until I got to the idea of doing a moving platform. What kind of platform are you building for? This will be for iOS and Android initially, and then definitely for PC and Mac after the fact. Haven't announced it yet, but this game will actually be using a pretty high-profile intellectual property mixed in with it. So yeah. Upwell is definitely an inspiration. There's Upwell aspects of it mixed in with Spelunky as well. So kind of like Upwell, except we're going Downwell, except we're going up. Exactly. It'll be dynamic. The levels will change every time. The idea will that I have a series of puzzle elements to work your way through in real time. Yeah, roguelike, exactly. So, you know, there's going to be just so many of them that every time you play, the order will change, right? And then the drops of where the enemies and the pickups are all going to be located is going to change every time. And then there'll be kind of like the other two games, right? Kind of like Spelunky and Downwell. There will be 4 planets. And the idea is that your character is injected into the core of the planet, and they have to work their way up to the surface. One of them will start with, the first one would be probably like a lava planet. So you'll see the lava gradually rising. So you're just racing to try and get to the surface before the lava gets to you. That kind of concept. But yeah, so Celestia, I don't know if you've done this lately. Have you dealt with platforms yet, right? And having the character land and stick on platforms. That was the point I'd gotten up to where I was getting annoyed. I can show you some of the other stuff I've added just in this short time. I mean, this is about... you have? Okay, I would love to pick your brain on that. Add friction. Friction to the platform itself? Alright, so I got like this, right? So I've got these little traps. And you can see I have like a trigger. I just put it like semi-transparent just so I can see it for myself. But, so like if I let it squish me, boom, it just crushes me, right? But the idea would be like, so the water would actually, think of the water as being more like lava, right? So in order to get above, I'd have to like get like that. Hey, Hackcold didn't follow it. Hackcold.com. Thanks for the follow, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So that's working nicely. I've got an enemy character. Let me turn on edges again. Let me see where the edges are. Like so. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate the follow. Alright, so if I drop this across like so, and then I have that, and let me turn the enemy back on. She should be hitting her little waypoints and turning back and forth. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Why is that moving? Oh, did I just... Oh, I I had layers selected, didn't I? On platform. That was funny. Alright, let me erase that. I still gotta get used to that. I'm used to like selecting over here, but when you're doing 2D tile stuff, you gotta do it down here, right? I'm learning. So I went ground, like so. Oops. custom, like that, and then paint, like that. There it goes. Good. So now, a little enemy character. Are you having with the platform? I'll show you in just a second here. I'll show you. So I got like the enemy here, so you can actually use her to land on, right, and use to jump. So there'll be two different enemy types. Oh, it just got squished. There'll be one enemy that will allow you, you can just squish them outright, and then another one that will stun, so you can use them as sort of like a jumping point, right, to jump on top of them and climb to higher places. So here's the situation. So for her, for the character, I'm using this little thing that I found, part of this little basic setup, using a customized player platformer controller that derives from the physics script. But here's my situation. Check this out. See if you can pick up on it. So it like grabs on and then just slides right through it. Now it's I love old NES Vert platforming. Kid Icarus, yeah, absolutely. Wizards and Warriors, definitely some influence in there for sure. Yeah. So, you know, so if I just, if I turn off the script and just go with the simpler one that I had earlier, so if I bring her over, drop her on, so I was doing a trick where I was just doing a parent on and off when she strikes that, but you're saying friction, friction on the platform here, because I'm not even seeing where, I'm not even sure where to set that. Parent would work to some extent too, yes. Yeah, and so that's what I ended up doing, this player test. Yeah, so let me grab this one. Player test. All right. So I wrote this quick little player test script. In this case, it does that. Like, oh, for horizontal. Oh, gotcha. Oops. What did I do there? Why is she not platform? She's active. Hey, hosting. Nice. Thanks, man. Oh, thanks for the host. All right, so that's... Oh, because I turned this off. Useful... Let's see. There she goes. Yeah. So when I use full kinematic contacts, then this is the parent kind of thing. So my guess is that it is this little... oh, Taco Ben is doing a follow too. Thanks, man. Thank you so much for the follow. Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, so when I do it this way, right, when I do it with my own, right, then it'll hang tight. But so here's the thing. Here's what I liked about this this player platformer controller script. The thing that it did that was really nice was this bit. And let me come back into physics. This guy. Go to definition. It did this grounded. And this is where it's breaking. I'm pretty sure this is the culprit, but I'm not sure how to work around it. So grounded is nice because one of the catches with... Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the follow, man. So one of the catches is, so all these tiles, right? All these ground tiles are all ground, right? And there's no way to separate if you strike the side versus the top, right? So if I hit the side of a ground and the top of the ground, that registers as pretty much the same concept, right? Whereas grounded would only be like hitting the top, right? So, I mean, obviously the workaround would be to introduce a new layer, right, that only works at the top, and then have the side be like side ground, right? But that script right here, this is looking at your normals, right? And it's figuring out the normals, and that's determining if it's truly grounded or not. And I like that. That's a really nice feature, but it comes at the cost of being able to work with the platforms, right? So that's my trade-off. I mean, I'm literally, you know, what? This is about 4 or 5 hours worth of stuff so far. So, I mean, this is the definition of early days, you know. For me, it's just trying to work out the physics of 2D and that kind of stuff, and figure out the best methodology and the best game plan. But yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I think about the fact that if I just introduce a layer that goes on top, right? Yeah, and then I would have a separate there, and I can skip the script, right, and not worry about that grounded feature, and just know that whenever I hit this one, then I know I'm actually on the ground. If I hit the side, then I know I'm not hitting the ground, but just the side of the ground. That makes sense. But I mean, it's a bummer because that script has been doing a fantastic job. The player platformer controller script is doing great, with that one exception, right? And that's a big exception because that's, you know, platformers are everything. So might be able to use Raycast 2. Yeah, but it's because this thing kind of overwrites it, right? I mean, it's constantly, you know, like trying to push its way down through, and that's why you see it kind of vibrating and then it slips through, right? So let me yank this away again. Now that I've explained it, you can see the effects much better. Here, I'll drop her over here so you can see a little cleaner. See, you can see that vibration, right? Here, let me go full screen. It didn't see it as much that time, but yeah. But you see how it kind of like stutters through it, you know, and it fights it, you know. It wants to go up. The fact that it's saying stationary kind of means that it knows the platform's there, but that grounded feature, right, is just what's killing it. So yeah, I guess the bottom line is I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and accept the fact that I need to kind of roll my own, you know, and excuse me. So, Sledgy, what are you doing for your collisions in terms of, I mean, like hitting the top of a platform versus the underside, right? Are you doing any kind of separations on that? You know, in terms of like when you detect a collision, right? Do you have, you know, a collider for that one or that one? Make a layer for moving objects. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a separate layer. This is platform. So, I mean, it is its own separate, yeah, it is its own separate layer at this point already. But it just, that grounded, because it's working off the normal and it's working off of the current Y position, and I think once it starts moving, that just kind of upsets it, and it just registers that where that Y value is, and it keeps trying to fight it to keep that Y the same. But no, I'm just kind of curious. I have that other plugin too. I have Corgi, you know, which I liked it, but there's some of the controls on it that I didn't like, and I thought about, okay, with Corgi I would have to try and rewrite some of the stuff that I didn't like to insert my stuff, but obviously it's got all the platform stuff licked with no problem. So with Corgi, I don't know if I can kind of a la carte it, you know, and pull out the sections that I like and kind of steal that stuff and use it on mine. Is Raycast down? Check for being on the platform layer. Okay, yeah, so doing a Raycast down. Which I think that would be fine. That's kind of similar to what I'm doing with the parent, right? As soon as it hits, I'm telling it to parent, and then it constantly should be following that platform. But it's just this guy, whatever I'm doing is going to override it, I think. Right? So I mean, like the distance stuff, so it's constantly trying to get back to its initial point. So I'm just going to have to bypass that, I think. Which sucks. Because everything else about it is really nice. So minimum ground normal. Ground normal Y. I'm not even sure what that's about. Let's see. See if I can see anything in here that helps explain that a bit better. Normal. Okay, oh, that's just the normal. So that's going to decide if it's like too much on the edge, if it wants to consider it or not. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, I guess I could go back and look at Corgi again. Or just bite the bullet and do this myself, write my own bit. You know. It's just, I like this other aspect of it too, where it was doing a nice job. Let go. For like her, boom. Like just registering those hits. Boom. But, yep. And if I get hit in the front, that would be like a death. All right. All right. Oh, and if it hits the platform layer, then add the velocity from its rigid body to your own. Okay. So, kind of doing the offset, doing a translation offset on each frame. Could try that. Let's see. Transform position. So he's always going to be one below me, right? Might work. Yeah. Okay. So let's try it that way. Let's do that. Let's go compute velocity. Alright, just an experiment. We'll try it this way. We'll say if on platform, then vector 3 oh, you know what? Actually, I could do it this way, couldn't I? I just say plus. No, I don't want to do plus. X, Y plus 1. No. Actually, I want that to be the platform. Yeah, that's because I got raided. Yes, I got raided by my friend Salechi, who is doing some fantastic work themselves and schooling me on the art of 2D stuff, which I've not done. All my stuff has all been 3D. So this is the first time I've experimented in the 2D land, and I'm reminding myself why I've stayed in 3D. Okay, he's going to go Z, and then for this one I want the platforms. Position Y plus 1. So let's try it this way. So every frame it updates, it'll put it, the Y, it'll put that. Wait, why does it not like that? Platform position. It's a transform, isn't it? I'm the opposite. Still hesitant to dip too much into 3D. It just, it gives you more place to hide stuff, all the screw up stuff. Collider, okay. Oh, got it. Transform local position Y plus 1. There it is. That's what I needed. Alright, so let's see what that does. Move her off of it for a second. Oh, it hates something. Oh, yeah, semicolons are our friends. Alright. And maybe? Yep, here we go. Alright, let's see. It's not that bad. It's consistent, right? So maybe the plus 1 is not what I need. Maybe it is actually on the same level. Nothing else, that was fun to look at, right? Oops. Alright, tried to sneak on there too early. Oh, crap. Okay. So that was close, but it went inside it. So it's getting inside it. So let's go plus 0.1. So we just slight offset. See if that changes it. Yeah, done. Walk away. She's just very, very excited to be on a moving platform. She's just super happy. Look at that. Yep. Alright, no, I gotta accept the fact that as much as I like that little pre-made script for player controller, I'm gonna have to nuke that from Orbit, I'm afraid. That's just not gonna happen. Alright. So, like, I think when I was talking out loud, I think my best solution would be, you know, what I was trying to avoid was the idea that, you know, if you hit the side, that would register as ground. It's the same as landing on the ground up here, right? Which is kind of defeats the purpose. But if I create an additional layer on top, right, that this would be ground and this would be side, then I should be okay. Yeah, because I don't want that to register as grounded, because then I could do something if it's a wall, you know, it could do like a constant jumping up, because that would sort of like imply that it's always on the ground. All right. So, let me take a look at their physics and get a better sense of how they're doing the gravity and that kind of stuff, see if I can replicate that. Alright, so compute velocity. Nothing. Let's see. Thinking. I don't know if it's worth trying to mess with the fixed update in here, because this is where it's starting to do its change, right? Movement. There it is. Yeah, I'm not sure which way I want to go on this. Alright, I guess what I need to figure out is if I can just replicate all the other stuff in that myself. I mean, even the gravity, I think, is not even being done by the rigid body. I think the gravity is being done by the script. So, I mean, if I turn that off, my assumption is she's going to just float in space. Like that. So even the gravity is being faked by the script there. Crap. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess part of it is because you have the ability to completely, it's much easier when you just use the rigid body. I agree, but I mean, because you can sort of like, art direct exactly how much, in terms of the takeoff speed, in terms of the gravity modifier. So, I mean, the actual arc of the jump, I think, is being driven by this versus the rigid body. Yeah. I don't know. Just trying to avoid rewriting the wheel, reinventing the wheel rather. But can you do that with dynamic rigid body too? Yeah. Yeah. You know, and at least that's what I used to do. So I assume when you move your character around, you're still using transform, but just transform with a kinematic rigid body. Is that the approach you're using? Because all my stuff has been that approach, right? I've never used any kind of apply force, you know, in terms of my motion. It's always been just transform versus rigid body. I set the velocity manually. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so you're not applying that to the rigid body. You're not doing any kind of like, you know, apply force and let the rigid body simulate it. You're physically controlling the amount of motion you're doing every frame. If I'm reading that correctly, which is how I've done all my games before. I've never relied on any kind of force. But I mean, I'm not doing driving games. I'm not doing space simulators, that kind of stuff. Excuse me. Smooth damp. Okay. Smooth damp. Interesting. Okay. Oh, so then it decelerates over time. I kind of like the snappy. I mean, I have the little snappy thing going on. Let me turn off the enemy so I don't get knocked out by her. Oh, crud. And I turned the script off. Let me get that back on. I removed it? When did I... Wait. No, I didn't remove that. What are you doing to me? Okay. There he goes. It's really easy to do in code too. Just change the gravity dampening on input and Y velocity. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because right now, I mean, there's like slightest amounts of deceleration, right? Which I like, but okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, this whole thing was a pre-done demo. With different settings, of course. I mean, there was it was much more floaty, but yeah, it looked like a good start, and it looked like it was addressing all the stuff I needed to deal with, right? It was, you know, kind of hitting all the things I wanted, but with that one exception of the platforms, which is a big thing. So I guess I was fighting it because since I had gotten everything else to work nicely, you know, just this one thing, I was hoping that I could work around it versus having to back up, right, and then toss the script out and do it differently. But I think that's going to be my only choice. Ah, crud. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to do, just back up. Alright, I'm frustrated. Well, at least Volley Village is out the door, so that's something to cheer about, but yeah, I guess because I dropped in all these other elements so nicely, and they all behaved so well, that just have this one kind of go nutty on me. Just frustrating. Yeah. Alright. How about you, man? Sledgy, how are you doing in your progress? Are you, how... Let's see, I can quickly mod an old script that I wrote, just fine if you wanted. I don't want you to go to any trouble for me. I appreciate it. I mean, if you had something handy that you could just throw me, but I don't want you to have to, like, subject yourself to any work. I mean, that's so kind. I do appreciate that. But, yeah, I mean, if you have something you want to toss me. Otherwise, I can do some homework. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, I've been doing this so many years, right? I should educate myself better on how to do the 2D stuff, you know. But it always sucks being at the bottom of the learning curve and this kind of thing, and trying to decide the best way to do this stuff. Yeah, I miss 3D. See, Volley Village was simple, right? Stuff flies in the air, stuff hits something, right? Game over. Simple. You'll send the file over. Oh, okay. How do the movement? Oh, that'd be fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so kind of you. I appreciate that. Look at that. Not only do you raid me with a massive collection of people, but then you also come bringing gifts as well. That's impressive. So I haven't been able to swing by. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, popped in. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll definitely check it out here. Actually, I guess, why not I just grab it? Because I'm just floundering at this point anyways. In the meantime, give me a sense of how progress is going on yours. Let me know how that's going. I've not been able to get over to check you out lately, but, yep, there it is. Awesome. Sweet, rich body. Taco Man, I'm learning so much just by watching this. Watching the proper way how not to make the game, right? But think about using Unity to do game development. This is actually going to be my 7th game, which is embarrassing because, like I said, everything has been 3D before this. You know, and 2D is just, I've avoided it just because of the stuff I've done. But yeah, this one's definitely racking my brain a bit. There's a bunch of stuff in there that's specific to my setup, but I can tell you what to ignore and cut out. They've been going really well. Awesome, that's great. So you're making good progress? Do you have any kind of window of in terms of what you're thinking in terms of like what your timeline is, or is it going to be more like the id process of when it's done, which has basically been my methodology? I used a box collider, but a capsule collider would work just the same. Cool. Okay. Good to know. This year, hopefully. Awesome. That's great. That's great. So you have like all the number of levels and all that kind of stuff already planned out? Yeah, when it's done is how I'm going. Yeah, that's pretty much been mine as well. Collision shit. I like it. Nice. Dash. Alright. So if I drag and drop this on just a goofy little character right now, is it gonna go nutty or is it gonna be useless? That's fine. No. I'm sure there's plenty I'm gonna pull out of it. No doubt. Do you remember doing 2D or 3D? I was using a recommend. I think it completely depends on the type of game you want to make, right? That I think that should be the driving factor. You know, I mean, in my case, I'm doing a vertical climbing game. You know, in the line of, like we talked about before, Downwell or Spelunky. So in this case, I think 2D is the way to go. My previous game, I'll bring that up here if you want to see, called Valley Village. You have 2 islands that are duking it out, and it just was lending itself so much better to have a 3D kind of perspective, you know. And before that, I did a puzzle platform game, which could have been 2D. I did as 3D, but I think it would have fared just as well had I gone the 2D route. But here we go, full screen here. Yeah, so it totally depends. You know, even the genre can still fluctuate, right? Like a driving game, a racing game, right? You can do a racing game that, of course, you want 3D, or you can do a top-down, right? Like Spy Hunter, right? The classic arcade game, right? That can drive that line 57 and 59, and then line 75. Cool, I'll do that. All right. So this is, well, 3D-esque, right? The buildings are actually 2D sprites, but anything that moves around basically is a 3D object, right? So in this case, I could have done a top-down 2D view, but I just thought it'd be much more dynamic and add more eye candy as if I went with a 3D concept. Oh no, don't worry about it. No, trust me. You've seen my code. I got no room to say anything, so I'm sure to be fine. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, I would just specifically say look at the type of game you want to develop, right, and let that be the driving factor for sure. That's awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks. It's it'll be available for free. There it says right at their top. March 15th is coming out. If you have an iPhone, it's kind of cool. You can actually pre-order it now in the App Store. So if I go Valley Village, there you go. This is kind of funny. It actually has a pre-order feature. So, you know, and is now hosting my stream. Thanks again, another host. Thanks, man. So, is it on Android too? It is. Yeah, it will be on the 15th. There's a beta version right now. You can test, or you can wait a couple of days, because what's going to happen is I'm going to flush it all out at the end, and the beta is going to get shut down. So you can download the beta right now if you want to give it a try, right? But I'm going to deactivate it a few days before the 15th, and I'm going to basically purge the whole database of all the people that have registered and wipe the slate clean in anticipation of the 15th, right? So you guys can start over. So if you want to give it a try, you can do it right now. I'll send you the link here. There you go. So for Android, if you want to click that, you can give it a try right now, or you can wait 11 days, right, and get the super polished version, right? Of course, the nice thing about right now is that it's sandbox, which means that you can buy as many coins and gems as you want, and it costs you 0, which is part of the reason why I'm going to shut it down before the game gets released, so I can actually truly make some money. Oh, you're welcome, man. Well, thanks for giving a look. Yeah. Yeah, so do you have any idea? I mean, if you want to share, do you have any idea what you're thinking of in terms of the genre or the type of game? Or are you still in the general planning phase? Let me come back to this. All right, so you said 57 to 59 and 75. This guy. Got it. Oh, there's the smooth dampening you're talking about. Got it. 75. Yeah, and then just apply the temp velocity. Yeah, that makes total sense. Absolutely. I wanted to do like a top-down game. I don't know what to build yet. Fair enough. My suggestion would be just to start playing around, which kind of what I'm doing here, right? As I was talking about. I mean, these are assets that I found a tutorial. I just wanted to get used to Unity. Yeah, I understand that for sure. I did a, let's see, what is it? 2D tile tutorial. Let's see. Is it this one? I think this is one I was looking at. Yeah. Does this look familiar? So this is literally a Unity tutorial, right? This is where the art came from. And I was just doing it just to get my head wrapped around the way the 2D stuff works, right? But then I realized it's like, okay, I'm not going to bother making my art stuff yet. So why not just make use of this stuff and just work on my play mechanics? Because to me, that's the biggest hurdle right now, is just making sure that I can get all the play mechanics built in and set. And once those are all in place, then I can start worrying about actually developing the levels as well as doing my real art for the game, all that kind of stuff. So that was the game plan. And it was going swimmingly until I brought the platforms into it. And then it all went to crap. But Sledgy steps up and helps me yet again. Look at this. So yeah, I'll dig through this, and I'll have to look at that. Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely, you're welcome. Yeah, good luck. It's addicting. You know, I was just talking about the fact that to celebrate the fact that I finished my last game, I did something I haven't done in ages. This weekend I actually played a video game myself. And it's funny because I did it for a total of like 4 hours over the entire weekend, and the whole time I'm just thinking about the prototype. It's like, you know, I'm so excited to get started on that. So I consider video games to be the world's most drawn out puzzle games known to man, right? You know, they just take forever, and you're always constantly trying to come up with solutions to everything. So it's, you know, shit. I love it. That's great. That's awesome. Cool. Well, I'm going to dig through that for sure. Yep. And come up with the proper solution. Yeah, you understand? I realize you're not going to have an input manager, so this probably won't run. Oh, gotcha. Well, no, but I can at least, you know, I mean, like you're saying, I mean, the key things to pull out of it, you know, was what you're talking about, right? You know, was specifically this kind of concept, right? You know, and just doing all that kind of stuff. So that's fine, you know. And I mean, I've done this before. I mean, you know, here I go back to this. This is ages old at this point, but stop the bots. Yeah, so this is one of my older ones. This is a puzzle platform game that I did a bunch of years ago, right? So I mean, I've done a platformer before, right? But at no point in the game is there a situation where there's a platform that you ride on, right? So I never had a situation where I had to dynamically change the physics of the character. And also, this is so many years ago that the way it works back then was probably totally different anyways. So it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, I mean, so I had like elevators and stuff, but they were just floating things that you just jump in and you just move up. So this is all just transform, you know, move in the direction I wanted to, that kind of stuff. Setting the rigid body to have a body type of dynamic instead of kinematic makes it way easier. Because most of it is handled by you. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll be my approach. You know, it's just like everything else. There's like 12 million ways to approach it, I guess. And this one was close, but just not quite there. But I will abandon this guy in favor of the new approach. So that'll be the first thing I try, is switching over to dynamic and just see if I can control like that. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm concerned about is, as I was talking about, is separating this collision from the side collision, right? You know, to figure out what truly grounded means, you know. And if I'm writing the code, you know, the way they're doing it is by looking at the normal, right? And if the normal is like in a certain range, then they consider it grounded. But the code breaks down once it's on a moving item. But if I do a thing where the vertex, if I override that, right? And if I say, if you're on a platform, don't bother looking for the normal there, right? And hopefully that'll make it so I can not worry about hitting the sides and triggering a ground registration. Yeah. So one of two ways. I can either do it where I'm constantly checking the vert here to find out the angle, right? Or I can do the poor man excuse, which is just to set a layer on top that is ground, and this is just, you know, called edge or something like that. Won't need to worry about whether or not you're grounded with dynamic. Yeah. Well, I think it's more or less because I want to do that to determine when I can start the jump again, right? So I mean, how do you prevent them from doing endless jumps without registering a hit back on the ground? Do you have some other approach for that? I mean, do you just have some kind of cooldown? And I mean, do you have a single jump or do you have multiple jumps? I mean, I know you have the dash, right? I remember you doing the click on it and just flies that one area and then drops down. But I'm not sure if you have, because like right now I've got like the whole double jump concept going. Right. Oops. Like that. So, I mean, I have a varying state that goes from grounded to jumping, falling, jumping, falling, jumping, double jump, double falling, right? So the double falling prevents you from hitting jump for a third time. So, let's see. What I did was check the Y velocity, but that won't work for your platforms. Yeah. No, unfortunately, no. But, let's see, where is it? Yeah, grounded. It's probably impossible to see there, but it says grounded right now, right? And then when I jump, it says jumping, and then it's like briefly a safe falling. Let me get up here. Jumping, falling, grounded. Right? And then jumping, double jump. So, but I mean, that was something that I added anyways, because the original script didn't have any double jump features, right? And then me doing the player state, the jumping and the falling, all that, that's all mine anyways. So, I mean, at this point, I'd say at least 20% of the script is now all mine anyways. But yeah, I think that's going to be good. Alright. So you were so kind to raid me. Should I return the favor and raid someone else? Because I think I'm going to go ahead and stop down at this point. We're at 4:30 for me. And I need to just sit down and read. Do some digging around to find the best approach here. Which will not make for the best streaming. With me just kind of going... Literacy. It's what's for dinner. But yeah, let me just say, Sledgy, thank you so much again for the raid. That was fantastic. Thank you. It's just good to see you again, too. I'm glad you came around. I'm glad you're making great progress on the game. And that's great news to hear that you're going to aim for this year, too. Of course, subject to change. I understand how that is as well. So let me throw this over here. Let's go Twitch. So I am going to look for another Unity developer just because. So let's go browse. I love this. When you go searching, you guys do this when you go in the browsing. I mean, look at this. This is so terrible. You know, look at this. 141,000 viewers, right? And if you come down to us, we average what, like between 1,000 and 1,200, I think, at any given moment. So let's see. Come all the way down here. Yeah, here we go. 1,300. That's a record. Yeah, put me out of the way there. Let's see. So let's find someone Unity. Let me see. That one. No, look at that, man. He looks like a doofus. I'm not going to go to that one. That's... Oh, crap. That was me. Okay, bad example. There is one other Unity person? Or I'm the only one that's listed as Unity? Oh, crud. He's in Korean. I'm not going to subject you guys to a Korean. I don't know. I don't know about you. My Korean is not that good. Seriously? That can't be the only Unity developer. I'm just guessing that's the only person that... I'm the only idiot that puts Unity in the title. Yeah. Mine is decent. Are you on here? Are you streaming right now, or? Trying to find a good one. Can always search for game development as a tag. Oh, there you go. All right. Wait, so that just throws me in the categories. How do you do a tag search on... that's not my stream. Yeah. 2 categories. The truth about game development. Oh, that's scary. So, actually, I've never done that before. How do you do a tag search on Twitch? In filters. Oh, got it. Got it. All right, so I'm in science technology. Okay. Oh, filters. Got it. But I like seeing Carl Sagan in the selection. Game development. That's not going to do much, is it? There it goes. Alright, we have Godot, we have Blender. Add game development. Yep, got it. I'm there. Yeah, Andy Schatz doesn't need help. He never needs help. Andy always has a crowd, man. He reads the phone book and he's got 50 people watching him. No worries. No worries. Appreciate the help, man. All right, what looks good here? Should we check out Godot? He's got 2. What do you think? Let's see. Oh, Jispo! Hey, no, Jispo. He's a follower of mine too. So let's throw him some love. What do you say, guys? Should we do a raid there? I think that's a fine idea. Gotta get my window big enough so I can actually get to it. Super nice guy. Yep. All right. Here we go. All right, we ready for this? Let's do a raid. I'll tuck this away. Okay, before I do that, let me just say thank you so much to you guys. You guys are so cool. And Slaychi, always fantastic. Thank you so much for coming by. Great to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. Sharing your incredibly large crowd. That's fantastic. I do appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And thank you so much for the help, too. You just, so many ways you're helping me. Can't stick around. No, I understand. Send some more stuff later tonight. Yeah, well, this is actually what you sent me is fantastic. All right, so I'll do some good stuff. Yeah, Sledgy, thanks again so much. Trash Fruit, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. Thank you so much. Yeah. And you guys take care. And then, yeah, Sledgy and I kind of overlap a little bit. But if you guys can make it sometime in the future, I mean, Sledgy obviously gets first dibs. But, so yeah, my broadcasting schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me. I'm here in Las Vegas. So, and I know Sledgy's on the other side of the continent over there. But, yeah, if you can swing by and come say hello again, I should have some better progress by Wednesday. But if not, just whenever you guys can make it, please swing by. But thanks again. Thank you so much for coming by. And hopefully you guys can make it back Wednesday. Until then, let's go do a raid. What do you say? All right, guys? All right, I'm going to hit it. Here we go. Go raid. Here we go. Countdown in 7. We're doing it. Here we go. Oh, I can do it right here, can't I? No, I can't. All right. Adios, guys.
Different website Hugo themes. Trying to see if I find one that strikes my fancy. Infinity is a good name for this theme though, because it's taking forever to load if you don't have JavaScript enabled. Well, this is another one that wouldn't load without JavaScript. And even with JavaScript, it takes some time. Yeah, I feel like sites should be able to function without a loading screen. Like, you should be able to start displaying some content immediately, and then, because if you're on a crappy internet service or something like that, you don't want to go to the website, sit there for 10 seconds and not see anything. It's one thing to get in there and like start seeing the text and then the images load in later, but if you're not seeing anything, that's kind of crappy.